Hello survivors and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be looking at Holly, who's called Too Far Gone, and it is the first Holly I believe to be released other than the 3-star Holly, and I really liked the 3-star Holly back in the day. She was a little bit slow I think, but it was just kind of cool to have that AoE attack, and it was I don't know, I just liked her quite a lot. I think she had a pretty decent lead for something. I can't remember what it was for, because I remember using her as a leader at one point. It might have been against certain stages on world map or something. Those days when you could, world map was actually a challenge. So we'll look at the character and we look at the stats. We have 1,470 attack, 1,559 defense, and 1,826 HP. So obviously geared heavily towards the defensive side, but not ultra heavily. The defense is not super, but it is pretty decent. The role is defined as a medic, and that kind of makes sense when we look at the rush. Now, before I go into the rush, I just want to say that a lot of these characters that are getting released right now have got so much going on with the rush, just far too much. When we look at the 5-star era, characters, even really strong ones, would just have a percentage attack and then like one side effect. Priya, one of the most powerful characters in the game, had a percentage attack and one side effect, basically like Shiva does as a 6-star. The characters now have 4 things going on rather than 2. The only characters that I remember having more than 2 were defensive characters, but it was generally because they were doing defense and attack buffs, sort of like Survival Road's Ezekiel, who did a percentage heal over time and then did attack and defense buff. But this character, I'll just read out the rush, you'll see how much is going on. Revive one teammate with 50% of their max HP, so that's one thing. Fully heal self, that's 2 things. All other teammates get elusive, that's 3 things. And regain 30% of their max HP for 2 turns, that's 4 things. It's actually just insane the amount that's going on here. Like, far too much. Simplify your characters. You do not have to have 5 things going on in the rush. You could remove elusive. You could remove fully heal self, and it would still be a strong character. Revive one teammate. All teammates get 30% of their max HP for 2 turns. That'd still be a strong character. You don't have to go so overkill. And it just makes me think that this is almost the end of the 76 AR. Basically, and we'll get onto that later. We'll look at the rest of the character. Specialist skill is Guardian 2, so one of the strongest specialist skills as well. And again, it's just making me think of the Michonne Priya era, where they pushed out those characters at the end of the 5-star era. Active skill is AP gain, so effectively you could command your entire team with this AP gain active. Very strong active, very strong all-round character on the face of it. She does also have a slotted weapon, and that slotted weapon has 30 crit, 15% defense. The 15% defense slot obviously is the upgrade slot. You can decide what to do here. You can keep her being slow and just make that a defense 30%, or make that HP 30%, or you can go with AP gain to try and get that rush off quicker. There's so much going on with that rush, it probably would be a good idea. And the 3rd slot is obviously a special that is just for her. When being attacked, a better chance to gain 20% bonus HP. So that means every time you attack this character, they have a chance of gaining 20% of their base health back as bonus HP. Now, the reason that is more powerful than just gaining back HP is because imagine a character's max HP and you attack them for 150, they just fill up to max health. So it wouldn't be that bad. It would still be bad, but it wouldn't be that bad. Whereas this is, if it actually overfills the HP. 20% bonus HP makes them just 100% gain 20% HP at that point, especially if they haven't been attacked. So if a character has 3000 HP and you attack them, they're going to gain 600 bonus HP. On a basic attack, you're going to be hitting them for maybe 150, 200. If it's trait damage, you might hit them for 350, 400. You might crit and hit them for like 750, 800 maybe. But this character is going to massively stack defense, massively stack HP, so that bonus HP is going to be more than 600. Their HP is going to be like 3,500 probably. Their defense is probably going to be around the same, so you're not going to be hitting that high. I think this is a really powerful special slot, like really, really powerful. And generally on a team, Guardian is the character that you want to focus because they can't Guardian shield themselves, and you want to try and get rid of them as quickly as possible. Obviously, if you disarm this character, that's going to be removed, but disarm is not openly freely available. 98% of the player base don't have access to this. So you'd have to take stun on attack weapons, which is strong, and she's going to be on a ranged defense team, and taking strongs against range is generally not ideal. So you're going to have actives, and she can still resist this stuff. You know, there's not really a good combat for this except rushes. So this character is very, very overpowered for real. Like, there's no weakness here. The only weakness I see, as we go back to the main screen, the only weakness I see is that she is 76 AP. Now, a lot of you will probably think, but isn't that the same AP as every other character? I would say yes, obviously it is the same AP, but this character is so strong. It just gives me flashbacks of when Priya and Michonne were released in the 5-star era, and then basically they were the must-have. You had to have these characters, otherwise you just couldn't do anything. And we've got to that stage in this game where you have to have a full revive team, or you've got no chance. And Holly is basically going to be the new have-to-have character. If you don't have Holly, you're done on defense. Basically, you're not going to be getting the easy defense, and this character is just going to be feeding you defense. Basically, that comes with one side effect in terms of, as much as I'd say this is a must-have character, I can see them reducing AP cost to 56 AP, which means a second turn rush in the next 3 to 6 months, without a doubt now, because the characters are becoming so powerful, they're leaving themselves nowhere to move to. There's nowhere to go unless you start having like 8 things on the rush, which I mean, I think 5 things is ridiculous, but you know, I just don't see anywhere they can really move to with the rushes. The characters are just becoming really overpowered. There's not enough creativity when it comes to creating a defensive character. It's always just a revive, a Guardian 2, or a shield that is part of the meta. There's nothing else to think of. Like, when you can only got 3 types of characters that you can use on a defense team, viable on a defense team, you know you've kind of messed up there. So you need to come up with something that isn't part of that. But that's it. That's Holly. If you're going to pull for her, let me know. I think she is, like I said, extremely strong. I just don't know how long she's going to be viable for. But that's in this video, guys. Do tell me what you think if you're going to pull for this character. And as always, guys, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.